Hi, I'm Billy Fenning. I'm the senior leader here at All Nations, and here is my thought for the week. When we left church last March, who would have thought we would still be in semi-lockdown for Christmas? For some of you, maybe you're struggling with the situation, loneliness, frustration. We're unable to meet the way we used to. But as a church, we need to find means of staying safe, but also staying connected. As a pastor, I'm concerned, it's part of our DNA pastorally to look after people and to make sure you're walking the journey of faith. I was reminded on Sunday talking to Becky that I am responsible to feed you, but I am not responsible for your walk. And I pray that you will take the opportunity to stay connected with the church. We have many things going. We've had to use Zoom, 747. We have home groups. And some of you are part of that, but others of you, there's no connection. When the church in China went through great persecution, they started to grow because they were connected as a community. You see, you cannot destroy the church. Jesus said, I will build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail. But in our Western civilization, we have a God of individualism. And we think that it's all about me, but it's not. We need to understand our identity as church. We are called not just as individuals to God's great salvation, but we are called into a community. A community where we look after one another, where we are kind to one another, where we provoke one another unto love and good works. And I'm concerned as a pastor that maybe some of you, you're missing that connection. It's important that we seize the moment and the opportunity, that we find out new ways of connecting. It's important that you use this season not to drift in your faith, but to grow in your faith. And just like the church in China, I pray that after it all, we will be stronger. But to do that, we need to understand community. Some of us, we have a cavalier attitude in that, well, we don't need church. We don't need leaders, but that's not how the New Testament puts it, because we are called to lead, we are called to feed, we are called to encourage. We cannot be an individual doing our own thing. We need to understand community of connecting as a body and as the bride of Christ. When we come to the New Testament, Paul, I reckon it was Paul, the writer to the Hebrews, he mentions that we are to provoke one another on to good works. We are to indeed stir up one another. And Timothy, as Paul said to young Timothy, he said, look, Timothy, I want you to stir up the gift of God within you. Let me give you a story of one of my childhood memories. My job as a young lad of 7, 8-year-old, I was to keep the fire alive. And I would get up in the morning and remove the old ashes, and then set the fire alight, make sure it was burning all day. That was my job. And when we went out in the evening, there was a technique that you would put slack on the fire, and you would just put a little bit of water. You could be out for hours. And when you come home in the evening, the fire would appear to be dead and not alive. And what we would do is we would get the poker and we would poke it, and the fire would just burst into flame. Paul says, stir up the gift of God. Stir up one another unto good works. And maybe we just need to fan into flame the gift that God has given to each one of us. You are important to the body of Christ. So my thought this week, in this Christmas season, stay connected. Please stay connected. What God has done in your life, let it be shown to others. Let it be seen to the world. Don't be with the mindset, well, I'm an individual, it's all about me. It's not about you, it's about community, it's about people. It's how we share our generosity, our time, our giving, our kindness with each other. So poke it, fan it into flame. Fan it into flame, the gift that God has placed within you. God bless you.